So we're good. I want to get a link to it. Ooh. How can I get a link to it? It's live. Hey, it's recursive copy video URL. There you go. I'll share it to my friend and I'll share it in Reddit. Probably shouldn't be streaming this, but anyway. Bam. Close. Is there like a watch me code? Watch people code. Watch people die inside, same thing. Rep scraping in Rust. Really just me. Why is there such a delay on the typing? Dude, is it? Okay, maybe I should close this other window. Okay. Struggling to refactor. And what is that thing? Document my code. So I typed document like 5 minutes ago. Document my code. And I put a link. Bam. And post. Maybe someone will care. It won't even get up there until... I should have put live on there. Maybe I should just edit that and put live. Can't change the title in Reddit. Save. Okay, bye Reddit. So this is what we're scraping. Wow, this is the Oanda documentation API. This is done. The request parameters are done. Now I'm doing responses. So we're inside of this endpoint body div, which contains all the responses. It contains all of this. So it's a pretty big div. Doesn't contain the header. That's interesting. Okay. So we want to get not that request, because that is not that div. We want this one. So we want all the panel groups. We can just, yeah, so our selector is going to be .panel group, and then how do we know? Because the request parameters part has a table in it, so we don't care about that. We can close this. We need to get a selector that will find this bit, and I think I've already done it. We'll see. Okay, that's that. That's the request. That's this one. So .panel group .div panel. Okay, and then maybe we want the second one. No, we don't. What's in the second one? Nothing. Okay, so these must be the 3 responses I'm taking. So that's the first response. Let me see. If I hover over this, that's the second response. Great. So you want the second panel group, and then it gives me all the responses. So it's going to be .panel group fourth trial 1, 2, 3, 4. So endpoint body, then okay, let's do it. So this is, I don't even know where I'm in the code. See, it's such a big mess. Let's look at the symbols, and it's going to be body, something to do with body. No, we'll look at the beginning. Go to the top. Get all REST-call bodies. Couldn't find that because I renamed it. Great. Fun stuff. Get pass all response docs. That's what I'm going to be filling in. But basically, I'm just going to refactor everything because it's such a big mess. So pass response header. Maybe I should remove all the header stuff into its own. No, because there's only 2 headers. Okay, well, let's put them both together. Match a function. I want to get the X122 as well. And X yank. So all the header stuff can be in the same place. Go to the beginning. At least, you know, response docs, pass response header. That's response header, so it's completely different to the other headers, so that's not really useful. I think I'll break this up into, I mean, how much code is it? A fair amount. It's not that much. 200 lines, okay, we can handle it. I think I'm going to break it up into namespaces. I think I will. Okay, so we'll have, that's the endpoint docs. We want the header for each REST API call. So we'll call mod REST API headers. And I'll put a little doc in it. Passes API call. No, I want to call it REST call header. Passes the header part of each REST API call documentation. And where is that? Headers. Oh, there's the header which I made, so we can stick that where we were. Forward. Stick that there. Save. It's not going to format it for us. That's sad. Because I've got so many bad typos. Okay, so that's cool. And then get REST call headers. So that goes in there. That's nice. So match a function. I don't like that when I go match a function doesn't get the docs. Would be handy if it got the docs. Okay, stick that there. Now I've got to get the doc string. Delete. Zip zop zap. It is gonna be here, there. I would really love some formatting. Let's just fix bad parameters. Okay, REST call parameters. That's fine. What's wrong with that? Cannot find get. Okay. This dot select is obviously wrong. Let's just get the parser happier so I can. So it's going to be in the headers. What did I call it? REST call header. I'll just call it headers. And I'll stick it in its own. Extract into file. Delete that. Save. Oh, save. Go to the file. Save that. Stick that doc string up the top. And because it's Rust, we need a bang to document the thing above it rather than below it. Now this is all complainy because I can't find HTML. We can just import that. Done. What else you got, bro? You got text to. We've got to import the result, which is use crate result bail. I think we're going to use which is a macro. Failed to resolve undeclared type. Import selector, done. Error, we can import error, that's cool. Create error, done. What else is wrong? Function exists but is inaccessible. So we've got to put it pub. Just put it pub. I'm going to say pub crate, yeah. I'm going to call it pub crate and I will use that magic to make it happen. So this means it's public, but it will never be exported from the crate because we don't want anyone else to use it. We just want to be able to use it from endpoint docs. So back to endpoint docs. So endpoint docs parses, if we look at the URLs here, all these ones that end in endpoint c-ep. And then I've got another parser for all the definition files. So this is for any URL that ends in EP. Okay, let's make it compile. It's not even complaining. There it goes, working. No complaints. That's great. So now, this is in the model. There's another one, endpoint docs, which is not in the model, which is wherever things are broken. Endpoint docs. Okay, mod headers could be at the top. I don't know where you're supposed to put it. There. Why not? And then I guess all of these should be together and then it'll sort them. That's nice. Right. And then this is easy because we just go headers. Done. Right, so all the header stuff is in one place. Yay. Now I want to make another mod called bodies. I don't know if it should be called bodies or document. Yeah, bodies. Why not? Create module there, done. So that's going to that cool. Okay, so pass all response. This is for the response stuff. So I'm going to put that in a third module, which is just stuff to do with responses. I want to get everything in different places, so in nice places. Let's go to bodies and go mod responses. And I'll put a little bang here. Passes the documentation for REST call bodies, including but not limited to. That sounds like a lawyer. What are we including? The parameters, the header, and then all the responses. Cool. And then if we create this module, this file, so if we look at tree now, we don't have tree. Did I type my password right? Nope. Slow down. To anyone who cares, if you install tree, you can see that it's making like submodules and making a nice tree. There we go. Ignore target tree source. Can you do that? CD scraper source. I don't even need that. CD dot tree. So you see it's got source, it's got definitions, and it's got endpoint docs, and then it's got bodies, and it's got headers, and the bodies has a sub one, which is response. That's like, I don't know, the module, and that's like stuff that's inside the module. Nope, not get commit, and create it. I already did that. Can we go there? Yay, okay, so this is passes all the possible responses for an API call. So if we look at the docs where we're going to, there's the request, there's the parameters, and then there's this response. If it returns 201, it means the order was created specified, and it has that schema. If it returns 400, it was invalid, and it'll tell you why. So that's what we're passing now. If it returns 404, it doesn't do anything. There's another schema. So now we can go back to endpoint docs, but not this, not the model. Endpoint docs, and get anything to do with response and shove it in there. Pass all response docs. Delete, paste. Pass response header. Delete, paste. Pass response docs. Why not? Delete, paste. Okay, so parameters is fine because that's not part of the body. That's part of, is it part of the body? I don't know. What's in bodies? Nothing. I guess it is, should be part of the bodies. Save that. Go back. Parameters is a simple search. Get parameters and get parameters row. Delete. This should be in body. Bodies. I don't know. It gets the parameters. We'll need that up here. I think everything's going to have to become pub crate as well. And it's just moving code around. But I mean, the good thing, the REST tools are so good. REST analyzer. Get REST call parameters row. Why does this do nothing? Delete it. Great. And now we've got to pull the imports, so we can just literally copy all these imports and then bam, and then save it, and it'll say, oh, these are unused, remove, save, remove, great, all the unused ones. See, Python, you wouldn't have that much power of getting the imports right, but we do, and now there's no errors in that module, great, but there's errors here because anything that was trying to call that module is not available. So this becomes bodies, cannot find function get all REST call bodies. So let's have a look at bodies now and see what that's supposed to be. Get REST call parameters, given endpoint body div extracts the table headers and rows, which are the REST API call parameters. So where is the struct that will give the call body? I guess it doesn't even exist. Maybe it's in responses. What have we got? Password response log. So that takes the document, and that takes the endpoint body, takes the false child, which is, and let's copy that selector into the browser and see what it selects. Nothing. Onto this. So if I go up here, height inspector, and paste that in, it should select a different thing. No, it just doesn't work at all. It doesn't do the end false child thing. Anyway, I could do it in here. I could go add style and go paste that selector, and I'll go background color. It's literally not selecting anything. Red, single column. Okay, so it's not even connecting anything. So let's have a look what we got. Does that select something? Yes, that selects this endpoint body, which is exactly everything we need. And then what's underneath the div nth false child? So it's looking for a div. We're here, zip. I guess what we want first is to get this selects all the bodies. That's perfect without that false child thing. Delete. So space yank, space search, star. Let's search for this endpoint body. Where is that selector used? Get REST call parameters. That's given a select get pass all response docs. So the call that we're failing doesn't even exist. I must have literally deleted it somewhere. Get all REST bodies. I guess we'll have to write it ourselves. Bodies endpoint doesn't exist anyway. Bodies. It's password response. We're just going to rename that to get all. Passes all possible responses for an API call. Okay, so this call is going to become what's the one that's missing? I'm jumping around so much. I'm sorry. Get all REST point bodies. Yank. That's what it's going to be called. Okay, we're going to say No, we're not getting all the body. There we are. Okay. Give an HTML document. Finds each REST API call documentation and returns it, and it will return not this weird vec thing. It will return a REST call, and it'll say, oh, I can't import that, just import it from the model. So REST call, it's going to pass all of that. It's going to get the it's going to pass pose this, get the HTTP method, the endpoint, which will come from the URL, and docstring and parameters and responses. And these are the parameters, and then these are the responses. Cool. Let's go back to bodies. Okay, let's get rid of all this yellow. Wait for the, okay, cannot find function. Okay, I just created that, man. Why do I type bodies? Get all rest parameter. Where did I make that function then? Did I write it here? Okay, that need to go out of there and go into bodies right at the top. So this has got to have a to do in it because we haven't done it yet. So this gets, I'm pretty sure I put let bodies, and I typed this very recently. Let dot bodies. There. Get definition, let bodies equals body selector. That's for the definitions, that's not it. Then get ORS bodies here. Pass response docs. No, this is not it at all. Okay, I'll just do it again, fine. Bodies. So let bodies, which is a vec of, you know what, I need to stick it in here in the turbofish. Result vec element ref. I don't know how many close brackets there is. That's cool. And then we'll go question mark, because if it blows up, we want to get out of there. So this gives us all the bodies. Then we've got to take, we don't need that. This is just literally going to go give me dot endpoint body. Then we've got to get all the headers, which are these. No, we've got the header. It'll be all the crest parameters. All parameters equals. I don't know where we're going to go to function for that. Get crest call parameters. Great, so that's great. We're gonna, it takes the body, which is the, and then it gets the T, goes select T header, select T body, checks the name located in type description, name, that's all good. So this should just work. Equals bodies, bodies, which is the elements, dot iter dot map, get rest call parameters. We don't need that to be pub anymore, that's good. And you can put literally the same collect thing on the end there. Done. So that'll give me all the parameters. I'll try and make it look nice. Get all the HTTP parameter definitions. I want to try and say this is gets all the REST. Find the REST API and give it an HTML document representing a single endpoint. Finds each REST API. So should that be uppercase? REST API call documentation block. And passes and returns it, I guess. Cool. So that needs to be pub crate. So got the parameters. Next we need to get all the responses. Get so I want to see what else is in here. We got this. That's it. There's two functions in here. That's great. Okay. And 32. Get all the responses. All the groups of responses. All the responses for each call. For all the API calls in this endpoint. So it's going to be the same thing. We're going to get the body. It's that one body. This is going to be responses get responses, I guess. And that is going to be, that's not going to be element ref. This is going to be, what does that return? A vec of REST call parameters. Is it going to be a vec? It's going to be a vec of vecs. Cool. And this is going to be whatever it is, responses. This is, the header is a U16, and then what else we got in here? We got a U16 and a definition, and definition is the actual, U16 is the call. The definition, let me just import it, is a name, a docstring, and a value. That's not wired, that's not what we want. It's a struct that we want. Struct, this one, which has fields. Maybe add a name and a docstring. So the definition structs don't have, let me just go to everywhere where a struct is used, and the definitions, which is here, just returns a struct and some fields, but doesn't have a header. Once definition, and then where's parse struct used? See, you just go gr for find uses, whatever. What is the thing? Gr, go to references. Nice. Thanks, Rust Analyzer. So that's used in the struct parser. There. Wow. Oh, it's a test. Okay. So those parse structs are designed for this definitions part, but they have exactly the same. Let me get rid of this. It parses these. Okay, come faster. It parses these weirdo things. So when I parse these, I guess, okay, that's just a struct. I want a struct and a header, so let's go back. I need this and some, not parameters, I need that. Oh, I don't think I even passed this. Request bodies. Oh dear, I've got to add that too. So I need this and response headers, and okay, so I need to make a new struct which is for proper response. I'm doing too much, man. I've got to step back, get things working again, write simple tests. Okay, let me go to my to-do list. Okay, each REST call may have a request schema, so I can remember to do it later, e.g. this one. Okay, I'm not sure if we're passing those, and we're not probably. So in the meantime, I just want to get everything compiling. That's my next step. Can't find HTML, import it. Can't find REST call, import it. What is this thing? Probably too many. Oh, not enough. Not enough triangle brackets. What else we got? Cannot find get responses. Okay, we'll get that. Maybe we'll just comment that out for now. Ding dong. So that's good. Now we've got to get responses. Compiling. Cannot find element ref, import it. Import. There's no import for result. Use crate. We'll probably put result, and we'll probably use bail as well. Maybe report. Let's see. All good. Okay, next. Select that one, done. Next, failed to resolve undeclared use of error. We're going to import crate error, done. We've got bail already. No method into report. We need to import error stack into report. That's cool. Change context. Got to import error stack result extension. Done. Isn't Rust have such good tools? Hash map. Import that. Wait for it to compile. Check. Read struct. Now I think that is somewhere, unless I've deleted it in my zealous endpoint definition. I mean, can I just go import, create definitions, reach? Okay, great. It's in the definitions. Great. Unused import. Bleep. My keyboard went into crazy mode there. Unused import. Okay, done. Regular type cannot be built from an iterator. Okay, so that's cool. Get the body. So this is the response. So this is where we're working at now. Now I wrote a unit test for pass response header, and that worked. So that's probably in endpoint. Are we good? Everyone good? Okay. Endpoint docs, and at the end I got a, no, not the model. Endpoint docs, this one. Endpoint docs, that one. At the end I got this test module, so that's great. VGE, delete, and that's gonna go in here. Okay, now everybody's happy. Let's just go cargo check. It's gonna. I just want to get the Rust code good. Wow, it's gonna freaky deaky. Cargo test. Let's see what's wrong. First of all, get all it one step at a time. Wow, that's a big. I crashed the Rust compiler or something. Internal compiler error. Maybe I should do a Rust up update while I'm here. Am I on nightly? I don't know. Done some bad code. Okay. So warning, unused import to the endpoint docs line 3. It's not here, right? This is fine. Cool doesn't. That's coming from somewhere else. Endpoint docs line. Okay. No method len. Okay, so I've screwed this up a lot. Get all rest bodies. What does that return? It returns a result of rest call. That's not what we want. It should be like a vec of rest call. Let me just move. Let me just full screen this so I can see it while the Rust update's happening in the background. Okay, go back. Control O. Let's just try and fix everything here. Unused imports, let's just get rid of them. Unused import. Let's made it a bit more simple. A bit simpler. Rest call is not as okay, so the trouble is that this thing, bodies, should be returning a vec. Get all rest call bodies. Why is it not returning a vec? Let's just make it return a vec. Rest call, that's good. So this is our thing that we have to do anyway. So why this method might not have had the expected associated types. Collect vec element ref. Value of type result. Error stack cannot be built. Oh, there's no result. That's why, because it's just simply. We can just put here vec element ref dot collect. So that gives us all the bodies. Okay, so we're working forward. We're getting less non-update cargo test. We're getting less crappy Wait for that to finish. Cargo test. The compiler's still freaking out. What did I kill? Value of vec cannot be built from an iterator, and this is in responses. Ah, here we are. Past response docs. That's a different. Okay. So it can't. It wants to build a vec of U16 in definition, but it's getting structs. So if I go read, so that's fine because we don't want that. That's cool. Matching this, change to vec of struct. We haven't. The code isn't working yet, but what's wrong now? Too many. Not enough. And struct doesn't exist. We've got to import it. Done. All these to-dos, man. Cargo test. Let's see if the compiler's getting any happier. Nope. Doc string or struct header is private. Okay, so all these private things we can fix in endpoint docs. So we can just go to that. We'll just make everything pub. Pub, and then we'll make this pub crate, in fact. Because it shouldn't be getting out. Back to where we were, endpoint docs, not model endpoint docs, the other one endpoint docs. It was right there, okay. And save it, which triggers the arrest analyzer, and yay, we're making progress. Cargo test. Could not compile, waiting for other jobs. Okay, so glibc failed. I should report a bug, but I just want to fix the bug first. What crappy code did I write to make it freak out like that? Okay, how did the Rust update go? It went okay, so let's do a cargo update to see if to update my package to see if that helps any. Man, we've got nightly, we haven't got nightly, we've got nightly, yay. But we're not using nightly, I don't think. Let me grab a water. I should probably get off my VPN so that it goes faster. I will have that happen in the background. Z web scraper. Cargo update. Let that do its thing. So I want to run that test, which is just the response one, because that was working before, where it just says here's anchor, and then there's code, and then the list of trades requested, which is this part here. Next I've got to get response headers, so we'll get there. We'll just see if we can get the code compiling again first. Yay. Cargo check. I can't do anything while the cargo update is happening. I just wait. Let's check our YouTube to see if anyone's watching us. I had 2 views, yay, for how many seconds? Thanks guys for watching for 5 seconds, it's nice. I guess I should pause it while boring stuff happens. So it's upgraded, hyper inserted, okay. Now let's fix some more, okay. Some of the command private cargo are hidden. Did I do some freaky stuff? box.din array. That's its own code. Did I do anything freaky here? And the web scraper part? Nothing. We're using pests, that's okay. What if I go cargo clean and then it works? This is going to be super boring for anyone watching. I guess I'll end the stream now. Cargo check. So in the meantime, I guess we can do nothing. Close my Gmail. I mean, what can we do? I'll pause the stream. Can you pause it? Hey look, it's recursively showing cool stuff.